When intensity brings courage. Fucking Scorpio. I don't know where the last 10 months have gone, but it feels like an accelerated timeline. I won't have much time to write on Substack in the next few weeks because I managed to create a lot of deadlines for myself. All fantastic, but they need my full attention. So I'm just going to write a short one for the week of October the 28th. Scorpio season is fucking intense, but I do love Scorpio. That's where my moon and Neptune are. Scorpio is great because it's all about engaging with. When in fear and aligned with that fear, it's about merging, absorbing, becoming one with it. And in that process of metamorphosis, when you come out of the other side, you're a new person. This is what's needed right now, to be brave enough, courageous enough to engage with our fears, because on the other side of the rainbow, there is light. There's a pot of gold waiting for you to pick it up, but that must be done by yourself. You cannot have an assistant. You got to do it yourself. Now, the thing with Scorpio or Pluto energy is that the will or desire to evolve is so big that you merge and become one with it. And that can lead to a kind of addiction. So, all addictive patterns that you can detect in your life are places to start. I recently wrote something about peptides and how I see people using all kinds of substances. I'm not criticizing, I'm just observing behavior. I'm good at observing behaviors because that's what I study, the behavior of humanity, the behavior of markets, how things are flowing or not. I can see the bumps ahead, but it's not about controlling, it's about accepting that the energy is going here or there. So, the invitation for Scorpio season after these eclipses, with Neptune already going back to Pisces and Uranus about to do the same, going back to Taurus, is that there's going to be a lot of deja vu. You might think, I've gone through this shit already. What the F is going on? It's going to be interesting to say the least. I'm going to do a reading for the first quarter square on October 29th at 6 degrees of Scorpio, squaring 6 degrees of Aquarius, forming a fucking T square with my sun in Taurus and ascendant. The moon, conjunct Pluto and Pallas Athenas in Aquarius, exposes emotional truth and collective tension, while Jupiter squaring Venus in Libra reminds us to refine how we value what we need. Mars at the end of Scorpio and Mercury preparing to turn retrograde keep the energy sharp, restless, and probing for freedom. This configuration carries the vibration of crisis in action. Pluto squaring the Sun demands the power to be embodied, not projected. Mars in conjunct Chiron calls for courage in the face of change. Courage is not still or passive, it is action, movement, the willingness to evolve. When this pattern touches my Taurus Sun, it presses on stability so I can no longer identify safety with stillness. Scorpio insists on movement through feeling, where matter becomes metamorphosis and attachment becomes transformation. This week's field says evolution is participation. The soul evolves by moving towards what it fears, breathing into what shakes it, and claiming desire as the current through which consciousness becomes real. Ta-da! 1440 divided by 480 equals 3. I did something courageous in the last few days. After I recorded the podcast with Joel and Gerasimos, I kept thinking about how they resonate together. I really liked the frequency between them. I felt very curious to consider the possibility of joining their community called Friends of the Truth. I felt an unmistakable resonance, a harmonic call that I could sense in my body. The alignments revealed deep correspondence between our charts, bridges of purpose, healing, and regeneration that mirrored my own process of reclaiming value and transforming pain into creative power. And mind you, I haven't been in a community since 2022, when I decided to withdraw from all kinds of spaces that felt tight. This Friends of the Truth community, FOTT, is closed and is a place that I call my dojo. It is a place where I'm practicing many of the things that I've been integrating since I withdrew in 2022, because I wanted to dive deeper into my relational values, how I relate to groups, how I relate to people, situations, and things, and mostly how I relate in intimacy. That has been the work that I've been doing very consciously, both with Kai and with Mark Jones in the last years. so joining a tight community was a turning point last week. I had a vivid dream during a meditation back in February 2024 where I was giving some codes, some numbers, 1440. When I received the number back in February 2024, my first impression was that it referred to minutes. There are 144 minutes in a day. During the meditation, I asked, "Are you referring to time?" And I received, "Yes." "Is it minutes?" "No." "Is it days?" "Yes." Then I asked, "Should I look forward and backward?" And the voice said, "Yes." Forward led me to January 26, 2028, when I will have a solar eclipse exactly on my ascendant with Pluto. When I went backward, it led me to the beginning of the pandemic. There's nothing casual about this. I was told to divide 1440 into three phases of 480 days each, starting from the date in February 2024 and extending forward. The first phase ran from February 24 until June 15, 25. During that period, my work has been all about studying and acquiring information, learning practical things that will be needed in case a new civilization is being born. That is really what I believe is unfolding from 2026 onward. This first phase has been about deep observation, research, and building the foundation of knowledge, everything from markets to frequency, from astrology to consciousness, so that I can embody wisdom through lived experience. The second phase began in June 2025 when Jupiter was conjunct my North Node and will continue until October 3rd, 2026. This phase is about aligning with my energy, letting go of accumulated information, clearing habits and attachments, and leaving space open to resonate with people who share a similar vibration. It's about integrating what I've studied, finding coherence, and practicing relational refinement in real time. That's why, when I felt the invitation through the podcast, not a direct invitation, but an energetic one, I knew it was something I wanted to connect to. The third phase will begin on October 3rd, 2026, and it will continue until January 26, 2028, when I will experience both my Pluto return on the ascendant and a solar eclipse that is conjunct the same degree, coinciding with the south node of the United States being activated that day. It represents a full rebirth, the emergence of a new being. Nothing is a coincidence. Everything in my chart always points to realignment. Everything I'm doing now and still discovering is a preparation for that moment onward, simplifying, grounding, and creating space for what wants to come through. I sat with this vision for a whole year. I waited for my emotional wave a couple of weeks ago and then felt, okay, this is it. I really like the dynamic of this group and I feel that I made the right decision. I love myself for taking the time to do these things. This week, I did something fantastic too. I took a lot of things out of my closet: clothes, shoes, coats I'll never use again because I'm not planning to live in the North Pole or any latitude with harsh winters anytime soon. And even if I do, I'll decide what to do then. I kept very few clothes and decided to give the rest away. I had already done something really big in the summer when I let go of my storage unit where I kept all the process of my work, my artwork that made me an artist back in New York. This sort of opening and letting go has been a ritual of refinement, asking what are the things, situations, and people that I still need in my life to keep moving forward. I did that the whole week and I feel much lighter. I've been refining a lot of things in my life, from memberships to clothes to storage and habits and attitudes. It's a beautiful year, 2025. Zooming out from my personal field, I see the same cycles playing out collectively. The last time Saturn and Neptune were together in Pisces was at the dawn of the Civil War in the United States. They met roughly every 36 years, marking eras of ideological confusion, creative renewal, and spiritual reorientation. Now, what I do see as well, and I don't feel any fear, is that there is going to be a period of confusion because we're seeing a lot of socialism coming into the world, especially in New York City. From all the capitals of capitalism in the world, we have a grand majority that doesn't understand money, doesn't understand the economy, and are going to vote, unfortunately, for somebody who is the most deceiving character after Obama. But here I am, almost laughing about it because people have not done the homework. We'll see. When Saturn and Neptune join forces, there's going to be a big blob of confusion around, like there are no boundaries. Everybody wants to feel communal. But then, when they wake up in Aries in March next year, The people who have made decisions with no thought in their brains will wake up to a very harsh reality. So let's hope for the best. Have a great week. Footnotes. Okay, the first footnote is when I look at their composite chart, the alignments were extraordinary. The composite moon, North Node, and Pluto in Scorpio sit exactly on my moon and midheaven, opposing my Jupiter in Taurus. The bridge between emotional healing and public purpose activates my spiritual authority and roots it in a tangible creation. Their composite Chiron at 21 degrees of Gemini falls exactly on my Venus, squaring my natal Chiron in Pisces, mirroring my lifelong process of reclaiming value and transmuting pain into beauty, self expression, and joy. Their Sun Venus new phase conjunction rests on my Pluto in Virgo in the 8th house, illuminating the depths of regeneration and truth that guide my metamorphosis. With the composite south node of my Sun and transiting Pluto squaring my Jupiter, it feels like an ancient agreement reawakened. A meeting written in the soul's design, calling me toward a deeper transformation of faith, value, and purpose.